Hi, I'm Jakey Stief, the long-haired freaky dude. Today we're reviewing the novel Apollo 13 by Jim Lovell and Jeffrey Kluger. This book is freaking amazing. I mean, it's about spaceships and astronauts and adventure. What's more riveting of sheer childlike joy than that? If you want to feel like a kid again, getting all ooey gooey inside with lustful thoughts of exploring the untouched, then this is the book for you. Apollo 13 is the true story of a space mission that went awry. The Apollo missions encompass the infamous journeys to the moon, and to this day are the only missions which have sent men to our dear neighbor Luna. Apollo 1! Well, that didn't go so well. That sort of blew up along with its crew. Rest in peace, Gus Grissom, Roger Chafe, and Ed White. You gave your lives stretching the boundaries of human knowledge. Apollo 8, that was the first manned mission to orbit the moon. And then we have Apollo 11, where Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first men to step foot on the moon.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Apollo 13 was supposed to send its crew of 3, Jim Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Hayes, to conduct more surface tests on the moon. Unfortunately, shortly after takeoff, the crew experienced a rather large seismic quake to their vessel. Following this quake was a significant loss in electricity and oxygen. It soon became clear that they wouldn't make it to the surface of the moon, and perhaps even clearer that they might not ever make it home, eternally orbiting some nether region of the inner solar system, forever locked within their tin can. Ground control the Major Tom. And there is some historical irony here. True historical irony. 13 is of course an unlucky number, and 13 just so happens to be the name of the ship, the time at which it was to launch, 1313, and the day which it was supposed to come in orbit to the moon. And number crunchers have found it in many other places as well. Anyways, this book details their brave, incredible events as they try to make it home with what little supplies they have left. All estimates suggest that they will die many hours before they make it home, but they don't let that stop them, oh no. I mean, they have nothing better to do up in their 11 by 6 foot craft than trying to figure out how to get it home. But though they were commandeering the ship, they were but a mere part of the effort to get themselves home. Apollo 13 is written by the commander of the ship, Jim Lovell, but it's not in first person, and rightfully so. So many people went into saving the ship that telling it from simply one perspective would be ludicrous. You'd only be getting a tiny glimpse into a fraction of the true story. Rather, it's in third person and omnisciently takes us on a journey across all of the minds which went into the delicate process of bringing the ship home safely. So not only are the spacemen's story told, but so is the flight directors, the ECOMs, the engineers, the families, the splashdown crew, even the president. All of these men comprised of the rescue crew, and without telling their stories, Apollo 13 would have been much less compelling and much less interesting. So, brilliant idea on Jim Lovell's part. But even so, the crew is still the main focus and the bulk of the novel. I mean, it is after all who the story is about and who they're trying to save. So all in all, a perfectly planned execution of the event. One might think that a book like this might contain a lot of technical jargon, and as such, to a non-spacey might think that they would find this confusing, but that is not so. A lot of the concepts are simplified, and a lot of the jargon eliminated from the real conversations. And what jargon and acronyms are left, fortunately for you, there's a little glossary in the back of the book to aid you in your reading experience. So in case you forget, there's a little reminder. Easy stuff. I mean, nowhere near as hard as grasping Anthony Burgess's fictitious language in A Clockwork Orange. Hi, my fellow droogs. I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a wonderful feeling, singing in the rain, my fellow droogs. This was a very suspenseful read, kept me going for hours on end. Even though I knew everything that was going to happen, it was still a great joy to read. With that said, the movie. I highly recommend the movie as well. It's a great portrayal of the book, so I imagine it's also a great portrayal of the events which actually happened. And while reading, I couldn't help but picture the crew members as Tom Hanks, Kevin Bacon, and Bill Paxton. Really perfect roles for the part. I mean, not only do they act like the real guys as they should. I mean, they're actors, they're supposed to act like the real guys. They also look like them, which is somewhat harder to do when you're an actor. And going along the thread of looks, I highly encourage you to look up pictures whilst reading this book, if they aren't already neatly included in the middle of your copy. While some things are great left up to the imagination, other things like the photos the guys took while orbiting the moon for the very first time, or the damaged photos from the command module, those are perhaps more imagination triggering than merely imagining it. I mean, this is reality after all, so don't cheat yourself out by not looking at the pictures. I mean, if you have the real thing open to you, I mean, great, picture it how you want, but the real thing is there. You can see it. What's better than knowing that it actually exists, that it's actually obtainable, that you actually have the possibility of seeing it for yourself one day? However bad the odds are still there. It's happened before. It can happen again. And I think that's the great part about following along with pictures from a nonfiction novel like this, is that you can put yourself there. You know that it's possible. So, if you want to feel like a kid again, then read this book. It's an absolute pleasure. And so, my questions to you, which you can answer in the comments section below. A, how did you like the book compared to the movie? Or if you're the astronauts watching this, in which case, how do you think the book compared to real life? I guess you're the author of the book, so naturally you would assume that it's a perfect rendition. Never mind. And B, for those of you who haven't read the book yet, or for those of you who had and just want to answer, there are some planned manned Mars missions before the year 2030, which is freaking amazing. I mean, how cool is that? I can't wait for it. Like, I'm fangirling so hard right now. Oh my god, man, I'm gonna be on Mars. Oh my god, that's so cool. I'm just filled with so much joy. Come on, join me. Hop up and down and be happy that there's gonna be people on Mars. Woo! And we get to experience, we're in the time, we are living, woohoo! But anyways, what would you do to ensure that you are among the first men to step foot on Mars? To step foot on another planet? I know I'd do anything. Heck, I'm careering a career choice which would possibly put me in a position to become one of the first men to walk on Mars. It's a very slim possibility. The odds are very tiny, you know, like I'd have to look under a microscope so I could see my odds. But once again, the odds are still there. Set foot on Mars. Whether I'm the first or the 10th or the 100th man, I think that would still be so freaking cool. So how about you? What would you do? Or what are you planning to do? Well, I'm the long-haired freaky dude. Thank you for watching a Bibliophile Productions. If you liked the video, please be sure to hit that awesome thumbs up button down below. And if you want to see more great videos such as book reviews, cooking tutorials, or headbanging to classical music, then might I suggest checking out my channel and hitting the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys. See y'all in the next video. Which might just involve dinosaurs. A rather large seismic quake to their ship.
May God's love be with you.
Uncontrolled the major time. Planet Earth is blue and there's nothing I can